It's your boy Lionel Class of 2009, back with another episode of EEV versus everybody. And listen, we're in the building, we moving. And listen, we moving toward fall 2025, man. Y'all already know what's about to go down. Fall 2025. It's about to get dangerous. All right. When we come off that hill, it's gonna get dangerous. So you guys all know what's about to happen in the year 2025. But listen, before we get into it, before we really get started, you guys already know what we got to do. Hey, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're showing some love, right? You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow us over on PV versus _ everybody. Also, make sure, hey, listen, if you have not done so as of yet, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. All right, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. All right, that's where we headed next. Right, we passed the 840 mark. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, if you enjoy the content, if you appreciate what we're putting out, then man, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Show some love, right? It don't cost you anything, right? You know what I'm saying? You're already spending your time with us. Go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell too as well when you do that, right? You know what I'm saying? To make sure you're informed so that anytime we go live, right, you can catch us just like right now, right? You know what I'm saying? You can catch us. And listen, once you subscribe, you know what I'm saying? You know, we got to remind you of what you got to do because, see, fall 2025 is coming, all right? And some of y'all need to park y'all allegiance somewhere because some of y'all just bandwagoners just going everywhere. And so some of y'all need a place. Y'all need a home, right? You know what I'm saying? And if you want a home, you got to make sure you give my guy, PV alumni, Jeff McKisson. Let me tell you, man, I work with Jeff, all right? You know what I'm saying? This is a guy who will take care of you. He's a guy who takes care of my clients, right? You know what I'm saying? So listen, I know that he would take care of you as well, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I know many of us are unaware of our credit score or our financial situation, but Jeff will help you with a step-by-step plan to guide you so that you are able to get into the home of your dreams sooner, right, than you think, right? And I know many of us have issues like, you know, credit issues, right, student loan debt, but he'll help you to walk you right through that path toward home ownership, right, and toward being able to get the home of your dream, right? So listen, don't delay. Talk with Jeff today so you can be in your home tomorrow. Now, listen, once you find the home of your dreams, so once Jeff gets your loan right, you know what I'm saying, you're going to work with me, right? We're going to find the property for you, and then we're gonna hook you up with my guy, Neil Harris, man. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, when you're thinking big about your next biggest investment, right, you owe it to yourself to contact Blueprint Improvement Group. And he provides home inspections in the greater Houston area. And listen, it's owned by my guy, PV Mechanical Engineer alum Neil Harris. He has experienced inspectors who use advanced tools and techniques, right, to assess every aspect of your property from the roof to the foundation. So visit thinkbig.com or text 713-259-0673 to book your home inspection. Support the team that supports the team. And listen, they take care of my clients. That's all I know. All right. That's all I know. Right. You know, so if you are seeing this and you know you about to make a move, you know you got to make a decision soon. Hey, listen, get with my guys. They gonna definitely take care of you. But listen, you already know what it is, man. Welcome to the say what now? You know what I'm saying? Our latest episode where we talk about all things SWAC, HBCU, MEAC news, right? All the rumblings that's going on all around, right? And so we just want to come and have a conversation with it. I know some of my guys are going to be jumping on, you know, in a little bit, right? You know what I'm saying? I also dropped that StreamYard link in the comment section. So if anybody is interested in jumping on, man, you know what I'm saying, you want to share your commentary, share your thoughts, you're able to do that as well, right? Because we got a lot of interesting stuff that came out of then snuck through, right, recently. And listen, we got to have a conversation about it, right? You know what I'm saying? But I want to start off, obviously, you know what I'm saying, by first and foremost reminding y'all of what we got coming up. I got my guy G coming to jump on the channel on next week, right? Representing Alcorn, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But listen, we got to deep dive and see what Alcorn got. They've been real quiet over there on the reservation, all right? They've been real quiet. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, all right? But we going to find out when we get my guy G on, right? We're going to deep dive. We've been doing the deep dives, right, to Texas Southern. We deep dive into Southern. We deep dive into Alabama A&M, right? We're going to continue. We're looking at all the programs that we're going to be having to deal with this upcoming fall, right? And so after my guy G comes on, the week after, we actually got my guy Mike with Sideline Sports Network with Demon Land for Northwestern State University. He's also going to be coming on as well to share, you know, what they got going on over at Natchitoches, right? You know what I'm saying? Because listen, we try to take care of not only conference opponents, but out-of-conference opponents too, right? You know what I'm saying? So we want to see what's up, right, with what they got over at NSU. We also working on getting somebody over on from Rio Grande Valley as well, right? So, you know, we want to make sure we take a deep dive so we, you know, as a fan base, right, we understand our opponents, right? You know what I'm saying? We don't underestimate nobody. We're going to take our time to know you well, right? And we know the coaches doing the same thing. So we're getting ready for that. Also, listen, we got a couple of deep dives that's about to come up. Now, these are members-only deep dive, right? So if you do not have the membership, you probably ain't going to be the cash deep. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So going to really be deep diving into some real numbers, right? Looking at some real film, right, for some of these guys that we had to transfer over. Maybe some guys who've also been here already. So, man, listen, my favorite room is the DB room, all right? That's my favorite room, all right? That DB room is about to go crazy this year. I'm telling you, right? And listen, I think it's going to start with these two guys right here, man. Trevor Randall, man, and Peyton Talley, all right? You know what I'm saying? Listen, the Princeton guy and the guy that played in Monroe, Louisiana the last couple of years, which is my hometown, by the way, right? You know what I'm saying? So these two guys, I think, is going to bring a lot of experience over, right? And so we're going to take a chance to deep dive into, you know, both of these guys, right? See what they're going to be bringing and adding to this program on the defensive side. So make sure, listen, if you don't have your membership, man, it's like $3 a month or something, right? Go and get your membership, man. Support the channel so you can catch the deep dive. Also, listen, my guy Dylan Spencer, and we gonna check out some stuff tonight with my guy Dylan. But listen, he's coming over from UCA, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, started all of those games with the Bears last year, so he's bringing that experience over here to Panther Nation too this year. So we're gonna talk about him with the offensive line. And one of the guys that, listen, we're dropping the article soon because we talk about a lot of transfers, but there are some guys that's returning that I think going to do some damage this year, right? And we're dropping the article soon talking about each of those people. One of the guys is Jamal Marshall. I really believe he's about to really, he's already been like showing his worth. I think this year he's going to even pop off even more. So we're going to talk about Jamal Marshall. And then lastly, listen, talked about Northwestern State. Got a guy that's popping over from there, right, at the tight end position, right? Really like a hybrid guy, right? 6'6", 6'7" guy. Trayvon Jones, you know what I'm saying, coming over. I think he's going to add a lot to that tight end room. And then also, hey, listen, Brandon Campbell, that running back room, when you look at that running back room, we already have pieces there that really can get the job done, and yet they even stack that room even more by bringing in a guy who has experience at USC, U of H, and UMass, and Brandon Campbell coming back home, man. So I'm excited about him. We're also going to be deep diving into them too as well, man. So again, listen, if you ain't supporting the channel through a little membership, man, go support the channel. We're gonna be doing some things special for those that are supporting the channel. So with that said, first and foremost, man, we're gonna get on to it and get it started here. Because I know some of y'all out there in PV Nation land been waiting on this, right? You know what I'm saying? Coach Campbell said he here for delusions of grandeur. We're gonna talk about some of those delusions of grandeur in a second, right? Because some of these schools out here, they deluded. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, but first and foremost, man, we got to talk about this. Now, I think Coach Riggins has been with the baseball program for 9 years. Somebody in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, right? But I believe he's been with the baseball program for 9 years at this point in time. And by the way, shouts out to my LSU boys for coming back in time to game right now. It's 5-5 in the bottom of the ninth. They gave up 2 at the top of the ninth, like up 3-2. Let Arkansas back. They trying to get the job done right now. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I believe Coach Riggins has been with the program for 9 years, right? And I think it's safe to say that for many of us, you know, we understood that the baseball program, and let me say, the baseball program has not received, you know, the best financial support, I think, right, that it could possibly receive. But I also think that, you know, you don't see a lot of progress in where the program is going or trending, right? You know, and you got other schools in the conference that have had more success with less, you know, than what he was given, right? And so, man, that leash was, I think, extremely long, right? I mean, a 9-year leash is a long leash to give really any coach. But again, if you don't have any expectations, you don't have no desires for any programs, you might let somebody sit there when you say, well, we're not pumping that much, you know, resources to the program. Maybe we don't make a change, right? But I'm happy that we've kind of made a decision. Again, right, they say we're grateful for Coach Riggins' dedication, passion, and time he has devoted to our baseball program and student athletes, said athletic director Anton Goff. Riggins has been an instrumental figure in shaping the lives of many young men and representing the university with class for nearly a decade. Thank him for his service. Wish him all the best in his future endeavors. But I think, you know, AD Goff is you know, we seeing that he's made the statement before. He wants this to be a premier FCS program, right? That's what his desire is, right? And so if you want to do that, right, you got to get guys in place who's going to make this FBS program, right, you know, what it can be. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, that's crazy. LSU just took care of business. I'm sorry. I got 2 things going on at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, going to the finals of the College World Series. You feel me? That boy Jones a bad boy. That's all I know, right? Hit the homer. All right. I already hit the homer earlier, and now, you know what I'm saying, gets the RBI, you know what I'm saying, to bring in and win the game. But listen, yeah, the game is 5, right? Said this all corners to have football. I think so. G is gonna let us know, right? G is gonna actually inform us whether they still have a baseball team or not, because I'm actually not sure right now because it's been super quiet over there. But I think Coach Riggins, man, I think it's been time for him to, you know what I'm saying, Nuke had to let the Nuke go. I think it's definitely been time, you know what I'm saying, you know, because at the end of the day, right, like you gotta get somebody in there that feels like they're able to get some momentum going in that program, right? You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, I think it's just been time, man. And so again, you know, I always talk about, we appreciate everybody for all the things they've done in helping to build right toward towards the success in every program, and even those years of mediocrity, right? Those years where you're not successful, that helps you to launch you toward places of success because you get tired, right? You know what I'm saying? You get to a point where you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? And so you start to make moves, start to make decisions in order to change things around. And so sometimes having periods of what looks like it could be success can be damaging, right? And so you know, you gotta appreciate, right, even that which was just failure, you know what I'm saying, so that you can just go ahead and move on, right? And so again, right, hopefully it's gonna be interesting to see what AD Golf is gonna do in this baseball program and what moves he gonna make here, right? You know what I'm saying? So with that said, man, let's move on to the next thing. And again, I'm gonna drop that link in the chat. If anybody got any thoughts you want to jump on, you can just hit that link. Now, I think this is huge news, right? I think this is huge news, right? You know, all 12 SWAC members will opt into the house settlement. The conference also, right? Because it's one thing for all of the member institutions to opt into the house settlement, right? It's a completely different thing, though, for the SWAC conference to say, hey, we're not going to set any limits either, though, right? We're gonna opt in, right? We're gonna allow schools to opt in, but we're also not gonna set any limits. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna say, hey, you still got to remain at the same place we were before, or hey, man, we're gonna increase it to the 85 number, right? That's what the scholarship number is gonna be. No, they just say, hey, listen, it's a free for all. We're just gonna open it up, and whoever can do whatever they can do, that's on you, right? That's on you. That's your decision. And so I'm interested to see how this affects things and how things shape up, right? I saw a lot of comments after, you know, the news was dropped after the SWAC spring meetings, right? Where, you know, people said like, hey, well, I don't know how this is going to affect anything, right? I don't know how this is going to, you know, maybe create that separation between certain schools, because at the end of the day, you know, some schools are able to maintain higher scholarship limits than other schools are going to be able to. I think eventually, right, this is definitely going to be something that, you know, we're going to see the effect of programs also. You know, when we talk about some of the Olympic sports, they're going to just have to be off the books, right? You're going to have to say, man, we got to do away with the golf program or the tennis program or, you know, soccer program or baseball. You know, like, I don't know baseball, right? But schools are going to have to start making some decisions about some of these other programs in order to say, man, in order for me to stay competitive in the revenue generating programs, I gotta let some stuff go, right? Or just for me to deal with the budget constraints that I got now because I've lost money that was going to be coming into my pocket. I got to make decisions, right? And so those are things that schools are going to have to determine. People are going to have to have those conversations, right? You know what I'm saying? But I think the Southland also said that they wasn't going to set limits. I saw something on the Southland as well. Let me see if I can pull it up too as well. But because I did see a comment on the Southland Conference. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But you know, at the end of the day, right, when it comes to the SWAC, listen, there's going to be some differentiation. But this is how I feel, right? There was already differentiation anyway. I mean, it's just different rules. But at the end of the day, there was already schools that were playing and that were participating at a disadvantage, right? That's not something that's new. You know, schools have been participating with a disadvantage, and some schools have been participating right being in a better position than others, and it has showed. It has had a benefit and effect. So for me, I have zero problems, right? You know what I'm saying, with, you know, this decision, and also with letting schools do what they can do. So the SWAC, the Southland CAA, and the OVC Big South have no scholarship cap limits for their programs, right? So none of those schools, so including the Southland as well, no scholarship cap limits. But at the end of the day, right, again, these programs are going to have to figure out how to fund something above that number anyway, right? And maybe they can fund 7 more. Maybe some can fund 3. Maybe some can fund 15. Maybe some can fund 105. Hey, listen, do what you do, but watch my shoes, right? You know what I'm saying? Coach Campbell says, trust the SWAC commissioner knows no SWAC school has money to add to additional scholarships. All they're going to do is spread that money over more players and use academic money to cover the rest. Now, that's the thing, right? There is that caveat and that benefit now too as well, right? Because of these decisions that are being made. Now, you can definitely, use some ancillary things in order to, at the end of the day, the student athlete, right, is wanting for school to be paid for, wanting for books to be paid for, wanting to have a little bit of cash in his pocket to deal with food, especially at some of our SWAC schools that don't have their own, table, right, nutrition table, right, on campus where it's just for athletes. That's really what we're talking about on the base level. So does it really matter if that comes in the form of like, yeah, you have a legit athletic scholarship that's taking care of you financially, and it's one of the 63? It doesn't really matter in the reality of things, right? It just matters that you are getting these things paid for, right? And they're not on your dime. So yeah, schools are going to be able to now also do some other things that are going to be able to cover a lot without maybe having to, without maybe necessarily having this specific person, right, take up one of the 63 scholarships. But are they going to be able to get to that full 105 number? Maybe they can, maybe they can't, right? Does it even matter if they can get to the full 105? You know what I'm saying? I don't know right now. For Prairie View, we're making moves and making strides, definitely in order to increase the amount of scholarships we're funding. That's the reality right now. I don't yet know what that number is going to be and where we're going to land, right now this year at where it's going to be at. But I do know that that's the goal, right? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, right, there's going to be some schools that are looking to make some big moves. So one of that news, right, that's coming around, and that's what I say, right? Valley is not funding 63 full scholarships right now, right? That's the reality. So this came from Jamie Walker, right? Got to hand out props. JSU. If the rumor is true, and their scholarships are at 105, along with having a tight NIL collective that I've seen them developing, then that Southern Miss game turns into a great litmus test. And I'm watching for other announcements. So they saying, hey, listen, the rumor mill is maybe Jackson State is going to be able to provide, provide the 105 scholarship limit. Now, whether that's true or not, who knows? I mean, is on here, you know what I'm saying? Is fake is on here, you know what I'm saying? He can let us know if this is true. If Jackson is going to pour more money so that they can fund a full load of 105 scholarships. Listen, I don't think any SWAC school is going to be able to fund a full 105, especially now at this particular point in time. I don't see it. You know what I mean? It don't make sense to me that schools are in that type of financial position, to be able to do that. Because they were, right? When we talk about what we're seeking to do for NIL, those things have been taken care of too as well. It'll be very smooth sailing, right? So, but can they fund more than 63? I think that's possible, right? And so I think there is going to be a little competitive advantage to, some schools over another. And hey, that's really just life, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to get in where you fit in. You got to make it work how you make it work. So with that said, though, so I'm really interested in seeing once some of the news starts to really trickle out of kind of where those scholarship limits land. I'm gonna be really interested in seeing kind of that news and that reporting to really figure out kind of what schools are funding what and what those numbers are. I think a lot of it is going to land around the same number, to be honest, right? I don't think there's going to be any one school that's like, oh, this school is at 97 scholarships, and then everybody else is at 65, 66, 67. I think, even the schools that are going to increase that number, they're still going to be somewhere, maybe 70 at the most, right? 72, 67. Right? It's not going to be something outrageous to where these schools are just like, the number is just tremendously different. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Now, this is what it says, right? It's fascinating news, word on the street. Jackson State allegedly will fully fund 105 scholarships this year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying? It's too early to know. At the end of the day, once that information comes out, right? Once the season starts, that information, that news is going to start to trickle out, right? And we're going to start to know what schools are funding what at the end of the day, right? It's going to come out. I'm just saying it's going to be interesting to really get that list and see out of the 12 SWAC institutions who is funding. We'll see a lot. All right, there we go. We back. Hey, listen, man, this internet has been giving me so much trouble, but we're gonna push through. So, you know what I'm saying? So back what we're saying. Now, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Now, another interesting tidbit that came out recently, right? Nah, the SWAC office. Nah, I'm good. I'm good with the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with the SWAC, right? You feel me? So Coach Tremaine Jackson, Coach Tremaine Jackson, people, I was on the Rocky Miller show recently, man. Make sure y'all go check that out when y'all get an opportunity to. Of the marketing, right? And so when you look at even this 247 ranking, right? You know what I'm saying? When you look at this 247 ranking, is really super interesting, right? And how this information, how this news even came about. When you go to Coach Jermaine Jackson's, you know, all his, Instagram, his Twitter feed, right? He's the one who took this 247 um, of HBCUs. He took that, right. I guess worked obviously with the football of narrative, like we always, you know what I'm saying? Uh, what's going on? All right, can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Seems like the internet's going in and out, getting a little spotty. All right, cool. All right, so he is the one who has put this information out, right? That's the thing that's interesting, right? You know, again, he put up there the efforts of our staff in the show. What's done in the dark will like got a few 247 Sports recruiting rank the conference. Now, I'm gonna put your own there, right? Events. All right, listen. All right, can you guys hear me now? Let me know if you guys can hear me now in the chat. Whew, this internet is giving me. This internet is killing me. And this is why the last few weeks I've been doing everything from my phone. This is literally the reason. Because for some reason, this internet is acting a plum fool. All right.
Let me see if I can get it back.
All right. Let's see if we can get it back. So, all right. Let me grab this just in case. So that way, if it goes out again, I got my other stuff out of here. All right. So, like I said, hey, listen. The good thing is I believe in the true and living. All right, you know what I'm saying. So listen. Back to what I'm saying. When we talk about Coach Jackson being the right guy, and this is why I keep saying I like D2 guys in the first place, because D2 guys have to wear multiple hats, have to be able to do multiple things, have to be able to build a program in multiple ways. Can't just sit and wait for somebody else to handle that thing. They have to go figure it out and go get it done. And so this is the same thing we're seeing right now in reality with Coach Jackson. Because guess what? Not only did you see him here, right, with this post, and hopefully I'll be able to share my screen because, like I say, internet's just tripping. All right, but look at this, right? Not only say, hey, listen, the efforts of our staff continue to show. What's done in the dark will come to light. Still got room for a few more, right? And again, share the graphic, has the link. It goes to the 247 recruiting rankings, right? You also got him here with all the buzz around PV football. Now's the time to lock in your season tickets. All sections available. 6 home games, including homecoming, October 25th. Don't miss this new era of Panther football on the hill. Listen, grab yours now. Listen, he not waiting. You know what I'm saying? If don't worry, I do it was a person, Coach Jackson. Right? Don't worry, I do it. I handle it. Right? You know, I get it done. That's what Coach Jackson is showing to be. Right? And so this is why I said, man, this was always the right guy for the job, because these guys have to do multiple things, as we're seeing Coach Jackson do right now. Right? You know what I'm saying? As we seeing him, you know what I'm saying, lead out. This is what he's doing, right? Now, listen, he's a whole package. That's the reality of the situation. Now, of course, I thought it was interesting. You're gonna have haters everywhere. Now, I think it's interesting. when people ain't the star of the show no more, when somebody else getting a little bit too much love, yeah, you're gonna have a couple haters. You know, you're gonna have a couple haters, right? Hey, listen. 247 Sports don't even update HBCU recruiting. They don't even update HBCU recruiting. Interesting, right? I was gonna tell them the same thing. Hey, what you say? I was gonna say something, but I decided to leave it be. Let them have it. They left off over half of the recruits. It's just interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's just not just, hey, listen, congratulations. Hey, man, y'all had a good class. I think our class was good too, but y'all did have a good class. You know, you can tell. You can tell when people starting to get a little uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Starting to get a little bit of fear in their heart, a little bit of worry. All right, you know, you start to see it, start to feel it. Now it's interesting because obviously, you know, 247, yeah. Listen, 247. Do they have all the up? Again, I'm gonna say it. Does 247 have all the updated guys? Do they have the updated list? No, they don't. They actually do not. Right. This is still why you gotta create your own narrative. This is why you still gotta tell your own story. Does it matter that they don't have it? No, I don't care. I'm gonna tell a story because guess what? You know what many people, you know what thousands of people saw? You know what thousands of people believe? Is that you got the number one recruiting class. Just as I saw Texas Southern do, which they say, hey, listen, we was in the number 2 spot. We got the number 2 recruiting class. Did they really? It don't matter. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. What matters is the story that you craft with the information you got. All right. Now, I will go on to say though. Now, the people who really do look at the recruiting classes when they looked at it and said, man, who got the top 10, right? Transfer portal classes this year. Now, listen, I ain't put this together. I ain't put this together. You know, the guys who really do this, they're who put this together. Now I'm trying to figure out if this says what I think it says, right? I want y'all to check this out. Now, this is FCS Football Central. This is my man Zach. Y'all can go get mad at him and Sam and y'all can get mad at all them guys, right? Now they say the number 10 class. Okay, they got Stony Brook. Okay, I see you, Stony Brook, doing your thing. Norfolk State. Nobody gonna argue with that. Mike Vick there, right? Getting a lot of hype. Number 8, Jackson State. Okay, above Norfolk, right? Don't think people would have an issue with them being above Norfolk. You got East Tennessee State. I mean, they had just an abundance of transfers coming. They just went crazy in the transporter this year. UT Martin, Austin P. Prairie View? Prairie View ain't it? Yeah. Listen, can somebody help me understand? Is this 247? Is this 247 sports? Huh? Is this 247 sports leaving people off? I can't hear you. Hey, listen, I can't hear you. You gotta turn up your volume, right? Is this 247 sports saying they leaving people off? Are these really the guys that really follow and know who? Ain't these the people that gave us the transfer portal tracker? FCS, the FCS, FBS, the FCS. Ain't this them? They ain't got no problem saying that. Let me make sure that Tennessee Tech, that's the HBCU. No. Incarnate Word, that's the HBCU. No. Sacramento State, that's the HBCU. No. So listen, the number 1 class this year in all HBCU is Prairie View. That's what it is, right? You just got to accept it. Right? So if we the number 1 HBCU class, we definitely the number 1 SWAC class. That's not even a question. That's not even a question. It is what it is. Hey, listen, this is apples to apples. 247 Sports, right? 247 Sports is talking about the classes. And guess what? You talking about teams that's flipped. Listen, there have been teams that have flipped their entire team. Listen, Sacramento State, they flipped their entire team. They brought in a whole bunch of people. But guess what? They're not the only team that flipped their entire team. They are not the only team that flipped their entire team. So just because you flip your team doesn't mean you brought in quality FBS transfers. It doesn't mean you brought in quality FCS guys that actually are all conference guys from where they come from, that actually put in work right, had over 300, 400 snaps right. They got a stat line to prove that they can ball. You can bring in a lot of guys, but that don't mean in and of itself that you brought in a lot of quality guys. It's not the same thing. That's just the reality of the situation. It's not the same thing. And like my man Jared said, it's just a hard pill to swallow. You know what I'm saying? It's just a hard pill to swallow. It is what it is. But listen, the reality is this our conference. This really our conference. We started this, okay? We started this. It's our conference, okay? So I just need y'all to get comfortable with the rally. Like my man Jerry said, just get comfortable with the reality. I want you to understand what's about to happen when we come off the hill. But like I say, this not. Last time I checked, I didn't write this article. Let me see if my name is here, because I think people think that I wrote this, that I put this together. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, that says Timothy Rosario, May 20th, 24. That ain't Lionel ain't write this article. So you upset, you mad for why? The reality is we have the best transfer class and the best overall class in HBCU sports. It just is what it is. All right. You just gotta deal with it. You just gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with it. I mean, it's the truth, Mr. Campbell. It's just the truth. The best HBCU class, the best overall class, the best transfer class. It just is what it is. I mean, why be offended by it? Just accept it. Right? You number 2, just accept your second spot. You number 3, just accept your third spot. You number 4, number 5, it don't matter. All right. So listen, that's all I'm saying. Right? That's all I'm saying. Just accept your spot, accept where you at, accept where you land, and just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Now, that next thing I want to add a question on, and I'm dropping the link in the chat, right? Again, right? If you want to share your comments, you want to share your thoughts, y'all can go and pop on up, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, Elvin, it don't matter, right? It don't matter because we got the first of both of them. That's the point. We got the first overall class and we got the first transfer class. It just is what it is. Just let people accept it. It's gonna take some time for them just to accept it. But it's okay. It's okay, right? I mean, again, just in the same way, see, this is the thing, just in the same way they would look back. See, many people go look back and say, oh, FAMU the year before, y'all brought in a lot of transfers, but did they pan out? Well, guess what? The reality is you got to look and see what are the people you brought in quality transfers. That's the first thing, right? But in the same way, just because you brought in a lot of high school guys don't mean you brought in talent. So just because you got numbers in your class don't mean you brought in quality talent in your class. And that's what these people out here thinking. These people in the comments thinking they got the top class simply because they got a higher level of high school guys they brought in. Don't mean they're quality guys. Don't mean that guys are going to be in that program in 3 years. Don't mean that those guys are going to actually benefit that program at all at any period of time in their football playing life. Don't mean that they're going to be even D1 guys in a football playing life. Don't mean none of that, right? It don't. So just because they got numbers, again, don't let that fool y'all. All right, don't let that fool y'all. Okay. Don't. Thank you. That's we trekking, right? They complete class don't equal that it's a quality class. That's all I've been saying. That's all I've been trying to say. You know what I'm saying? That's all I've been trying to say. Now this thought, I saw this statement. I saw this comment. I really need to see if I can pull up the actual comment, right? The actual thought process, right? Because I think he also lists his 5 teams here as well. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to just get y'all thoughts, right? We talking about Prairie View currently, talking about looking at the last 5 years. Would Prairie View not be among the top 5 teams in the SWAC right now? With the new coach, with new players, he's saying no. Hey, see, this is the thing. Y'all don't have to let us have something we already got. Y'all don't have to let us have something we already got. They say let us have the day. We already done took the day. They let it. Hey, listen, let them have the top headline. We already got the top headline. We already got it. You ain't gotta say let us have. We already got it. We control it. It's in our hands. It's in our court. Okay, it's in our corner right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen. Hey, they the one who asked the question. I'm just asking. They saying top 5. I mean, I think that's pretty simple. Because over the last 4 or 5 years, there's only been 4 schools. There's 4 schools that you can talk about at all in any shape, form, or fashion, right? Jackson, there's FAM, there's Prairie View, there's Southern. That's it. I mean, what other schools we having a conversation about other than them four? Alabama State people have believed over and over again, right? I think this year they gonna do something, but I mean they haven't got over any humps to even make the SWAC championship game. So what outside of those teams? I mean, what teams are we talking about? I mean, what teams are we really having a conversation on? It don't make sense. And I think when I looked, right, I think that's the list. I mean, if you're talking about the fifth spot, the fifth team to me would have to be Alabama State, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it has to be Alabama State. But at the end of the day, I mean, those are the four teams of the last 4 years that have been in the conversation at all. That's the only teams that's been in the conversation. I don't see any point of anything else, right? Because those are the only teams that's been a part of the conversation at all, right? At all whatsoever. So to me, I think it's very simple. I think if you don't have if with what Prairie View has had over the last 4 or 5 years, seeing what has been accomplished in that time, and now you have somebody, and not only that individual, but a staff. Listen, we've never had a staff like this before. That's just the honest truth of the situation, right? We've never had a staff with this much experience before. We've never had a staff with this accomplished before, and I'm talking about at every level of the staff, right? I'm not just talking about maybe the head coach and then the DC, or of course maybe the OC, or maybe like wide receiver. No, listen, I'm talking about like, man, every positional coach, like championship caliber guys who've won it at various levels, guys who have multiple championships with multiple programs. There's a reason that the confidence is oozing out. Listen, the confidence is not oozing out for no reason, right? It's because there's substance behind what they got in the room. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just talking about the staff right now. I ain't even talking about the players. I'm talking about the staff itself. Just the staff itself. Now, I want to move on, right? I think I want to pull this up because I thought this was really, really interesting. You know, moving over to the Bayou Classic, man. Yeah, of course, PB top 5, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, we not going D2, so that's all the word to me. I mean, hey, listen, if other schools go D2, that's on them, right? They got to take care of their home, right? They got to figure some things out. All I know is we not going D2. That's all I know about, right? We not going D2. But now I want to go over here and check out this this comment, man. This over here on, this is coming from Yard Talk. Shouts out to Yard Talk, and shouts out to Kyle T. Mosley, man. Great interview that he just did with Hardy Pelt and with Curtis Simon, right? HBCU Go, Urban Edge Network. Definitely check it out because it's really great. A lot of great information. I love what both of those different individuals are bringing out. But I want you guys to hear what
sure do.
Here.
So that's why we gave them a platform and said, we're just like YouTube. I'm going to give you your own channel, but I'm going to split the revenues back with you.
So it's a partnership deal that you have with them saying, hey, we're revenue share. And you guys get to be able to monetize your own product and control your own product and how it's being shown. Is that correct?
That is correct. You get to control your revenue streams back in. Which again, this is why Grambling was in front of everybody. So the story I always tell, which I've never told the story publicly, but the story I always tell is, I don't think most people knew that Grambling and Southern were paying NBC $2 million to be on TV for the Bayou Classic. And when the Grambling folks told us about this, of course, me and Todd almost had a conniption going, are you crazy? Why are you paying them to be on TV? Like they're the highest rated show during that day. And they've been doing it for 27 years.
And that was mind-boggling. You're talking